Yo, it's Jamie Foxx, Foxxhole Radio in the building. We got in the building.
Stacy Dash.
In the building, we got.
Your boy Speedy was
in the building, we got.
OG Poetess.
Smoke weed every day.
In the building, we got.
Number 32.
The original number 32.
Johnny Mac, I'm not even going to say you. We'll be right back. It's Foxxhole. We are on fire right now.
Jim Brown.
Yo, yeah.
That was a lyric. That was a lyric back in
Red
there.
Melly Mel. We are here. This is Jamie Foxx, Foxxhole Radio, XM 149, Sirius 106. What's cracking?
Other than the crack of your ass.
Hey.
It's going down. We have done. Listen, I have reached out to Stacy Dash.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have asked you
Yes.
that if you would come and do a spot on our show, do your own show.
Yes.
What would be great is that while you're shooting your show, and I think you show your whole life, and you show your struggles or whatever, and then you come here, and what you do is stay loose like you are with us, but help other women in their problems, because I think that's what's missing too. And when we lean back and listen to what Mr. Brown says, number 32 says, it comes down to what we doing in this room and really working together and helping people out. That's why when I look at Precious and what they did with Precious and how Tyler Perry came together with Oprah and with Lee Daniels and how and I hope that we're not missing that significant moment too, because I believe that Monique is going to win that Oscar.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
And it's just a great thing. And this is what I want to do too, Mr. Brown, because I've come up against this a lot. That when I actually say that I'm proud of something black, for some reason I'm racist. But when I hear you talk about Jewish people, for some reason it's cool. When I hear about Italians or Irish, it's cool. I made a statement when we were doing the Black Entertainment Television Award, when we were doing the best we could to send Michael Jackson off. I made a statement and I said that Michael belonged to black people and we shared him with the world. I was doing it within the structure of a stand-up comedy routine, and also for that room that it was like, this is where he started, this is where it's great that he that he goes on to the next phase of his existence. The next day on the radio, I'm thinking we did this fantastic job because we only have 48 hours to do it.
Right.
I get on the radio and this guy from Pop Radio, White Cat, says, Jamie, so you hate white people. And I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, well, you said Michael Jackson belonged to you. And it didn't, and you shared him. I mean, that's racist. And I said, after all we did on that show, and you get that, I said, if I'm proud of the dude, because in the media, you guys were shellacking him. When you guys got tired of him, he was the worst. I said, we were the one that really sustained him. I said, but what's the difference between you saying Frank Sinatra is a paisan and he's an Italian guy, or Jerry Seinfeld, who's Jewish and does a whole Jewish show? And then I brought up the fact that I did this Jewish event, and they did all Jewish jokes for 2 hours. I didn't know any of the jokes. Do I go up to them and say, hey, Jews, you got to cut me in on this? And then I asked him, I said, and why is it? I said, because I know every white person is not thinking that. They could not have gotten that from that statement. And the people really knee-jerked. And I said, I can't say that he belonged to us and we shared him.
I can't be proud of Michael Jackson, a black man.
Can you speak on that?
Yeah, Jimmy, you put your finger on it. That is the #1 problem we have. That is a trick that's played on us. We're so afraid to talk as a collective, yet we have been defined as a collective, but only in the negative.
Right.
So when we redefine ourselves in a positive way and identify blackness in the way that it should be identified, we are then singled out and criticized. So we start softening our stance, and so if it's black, we then say, well, let's bring in a couple of white kids so that we will pacify and satisfy this larger audience. And we have fallen into the trap because when the civil rights movement went into its strongest mode, it was about integration. And integration is a dirty word because it makes white people think that you want to be with them.
Wow.
You want to be in their neighborhoods. Yet, on the other hand, when you have your own neighborhood and it's uplifting, they want to criticize you for then practicing segregation.
Wow.
So it's a double-edged sword that we're the only culture that is the way it goes. The Koreans have Koreatown.
Right.
Sure do.
The Japanese have their spot.
Chinatown.
Even the Ethiopians have decided they're going to have their spot.
Ethiopian
So
town.
they have Ethiopia Town. But where is, whatever we want to call ourselves, where is that town?
Compton.
Crenshaw and 43rd, South Central.
They got great fish.
Compton.
Yo, pull up some NWA right now. I need some NWA right now. Straight out of Compton. A motherfucker nigga.
No, but again, let me say one thing that's very interesting. You see, I chose to deal
No NWA, I was joking.
with gang members because they were killing each other. Black people killing black people. But then there's another thing that I'd like to say, that I am rooted in the black community.
Wow.
So I have power that's real power.
Wow.
Because you notice every time one of those people that leave the black community and something happens, like Michael Jordan,
They come get you.
they came and fired him from an ownership of a team.
Wow.
And he was so bewildered he did not understand it. But they can't fire me from my gangbangers because we have a relationship forever.
Right.
It's from the bottom up.
Wow.
And we have a collective that's very, very powerful because nobody can control it.
Right.
It's the only element in this country that really the system don't have a hold of.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
And the reason they don't like me is because they say, well, he's doing good things, but suppose with all of these young men and that physical power and that intellectual power, he decided he wanted to create a revolution.
Get some addresses.
You know, so
Be like,
and I'm not blowing smoke in this sense.
No,
I'm just
I know
telling you
what
how
you
it is. I did this purposely because in my work I wanted to be pure. And when I deal with these young men and they come to my home and they respect my wife and they respect my babies and they have never put a hand on me in 20 years, that is something to say about our young black men that want to change their lives around. And we have no great example than that as far as change in this country, but you'll never see the support coming. They'll talk about everything else except American and the work that American does. Because as an independent black man that isn't controlled, my guy in the CIA told me once, he said, look, he said, Jim, if you do it good, it doesn't matter, because if they don't control it, they fear it.
wow.
And so we are stuck by being fooled by the riches we have, and then the glorification of those individuals because of their riches.
Wow.
But now, if you take this room, and this is definitely a collective,
Yeah.
I don't know what else you all are going to do with it other than be in this room. But if you take what you have in this room and you pick some issues, you can be a tremendous group of leaders in this country, and you can affect a whole lot of things that as individuals you'll never affect. So I'm glad to be in this room. I was very surprised to see this many people participating and look like you all come from different situations. I don't know.
He come from jail. I came from my mama's house.
He's at the buffet.
Yeah. But you put your hand on it, Jamie. You put your hand on it.
But I'm gonna get into this because, and then Stacy, please hang out. We got some legends in this building, man. When I tell you, we got some legends in this building, man. When I tell you, man, stupid. When I say, I mean, I did some, man, today music. It was, man.
But it was
maybe I didn't make some babies, but the test drive was crazy.
The home pregnancy test.
I have to get into this because our show is so many different facets, and the thing is that we are a comedy-driven show. We always go for the joke. But a young lady by the name of Jamie King said, when are you going to do something of substance? And when we did do something of substance with Barack Obama, it was groundbreaking. Barack Obama was 30 points down. People didn't even know who Barack Obama was. We said on this show, I'm voting for Barack Obama because he's black. Black people called in and said, I'm not voting for him just because he's black. We said, allow us to educate you about this man. Cheryl Underwood, who did our conservative base. She
Right.
had her show on Wednesday, which, you know, she's a conservative. Tuesday, I'm sorry, whatever.
Speedy.
Tuesday. And then we had our thing on Friday, but we did do something of substance. But I believe the enthusiasm of having an African-American president has dwindled because we look at everything like a hit record.